1982's Conan the Barbarian is another classic 80s film filled to the brim with iconic lines and scenes. This is one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's key roles. It would go on to be the inspiration for a bunch of 80s fantasy films, some darker than others. Of course, what other plot could this film have than a rise up and get revenge storyline? Conan is a child whose tribe is attacked and wiped out by raiders. He is helpless to do anything and is sold into slavery. The work builds up his strength. Time as a gladiator builds up his fighting skills. He is eventually granted his freedom and starts roaming, seeking his revenge against the one who uses the symbol of the two snakes. After several adventures, Conan and his friends are hired to rescue a princess who has joined a snake cult, allowing Conan to finally confront the man who killed his parents. Narrative flows smoothly in this film with montages. It knows when to linger on a moment and when to move on. The dialogue is kept to a minimum, relying on implication and body language. For something so manly and over the top, it can be subtle and trust its audience. Because there isn't a bunch of constant yapping, the great quotes hit harder. It starts with great narration by Mako. James Earl Jones, of course, has his Riddle of Steel speech, which might be my favorite part of the film. And there's, of course, the famous Crush Your Enemies quote. In addition to quotable lines, there's a lot of iconic scenes. There's him swinging his sword around after being revived. Conan has that great, simple look, just this muscle bound killer. He's got that one scene where he has the camouflage on. Sandel Bergman as Valeria would set the standard for hot warrior women in these kinds of sword and sorcery films. She'd also go on to appear in a few other great 80s films. I really like the pageantry of the cult scenes. There's also a savagery to this film. They went with more of a Mongol inspiration than a European medieval one, and it works. There's also a couple of well-known funny scenes, such as Arnold punching the camel or him biting the neck of the vulture. Conan is, interestingly enough, as much of a thief as he is a muscle-bound warrior. Like most of Schwarzenegger's other characters, he isn't just a muscle man. He's intelligent. He's clever. Then we have the antagonist. James Earl Jones is, of course, mainly known for being the voice of Darth Vader. Thulsa Doom deserves to be just as iconic. His speeches are a joy to listen to, and you could certainly see him leading a cult with how hypnotic he is. His death is hardcore as hell, a very satisfying revenge. I'm not sure if I want to even call it a flaw, but there's the much used trope of a cult leader having a minion do a hashish dive. It works here, and it was done before I think it became super common. This could technically be in Lovecraft at the movies because it does have a link The original Conan author, Robert E. Howard, used Lovecraft deities in his work, but I don't think any of that appears in this film. The theme of success bringing boredom and weakness, choosing the hard life over the soft and stable, which will ultimately destroy you. In a world where everything is at your fingertips, where we watch countless successful people fall, this might ring true to a lot of people. Something else that modern people might identify with is the pure testosterone and manliness of this film. A lot of people believe that modernity has brought weakness, has brought an excess of femininity, and so a film about a barbarian running around killing cultists with a big sword might be right up their alley. Conan the Barbarian has been called a right wing revenge film. The cult is shown to be reminiscent of the hippie movement. They could be analogous with a New Age movement, something that comes along and disrupts the existing order, tricks the young people into following them. The cult has troops, it has guards, but the majority of the followers are shown to be wearing robes, to be feminine. They have flower crowns and things. Conan tricks a gay man in order to infiltrate the group, so they're very left wing coded. And the final nail would be that director John Milius is known to be rather right wing. These are all things that should be considered when watching this film. Politics should be at least considered when watching any film, but at the end of the day, I don't let it decide if I like the film or not. American politics are actually black magic designed to drive people insane, which is why I don't involve myself with them. But that's a story for another day.